What is the most absurd thing a car brand can do? Well, actually, a lot of things. Stuff a massive 6.5 inside. You dirty little. A massive 6.5 liter naturally aspirated V12 inside of a family SUV, or maybe somehow find a way to put a Formula 1 engine inside of a road car. Or maybe take your executive sedan and put a 5-liter naturally aspirated V10 paired with a manual transmission and rear-wheel drive. But those are all sedans, SUVs, and there are also some pretty insane hatchbacks and trucks out there too. But those are all types of things you're used to seeing on the road. The last time I ever heard of a new type of car being invented was when COVID took over the world in March of 2020, just in time to completely cancel the Geneva Motor Show, and that specific car that I am talking about is the Koenigsegg Gemera, which is a hypercar, but it has 4 seats that can comfortably fit all 4 adults, so technically a hypercar grand touring car thing, but still. Creating something all new in the car world or even in general is harder than you'd expect, but making something crazy and completely stupid to the point where it's the coolest thing you have ever seen is something only Lamborghini can do the correct way. After years of speculation and waiting, and something that we would actually have never expected 10 to 15 years ago, but we now finally have the Huracan Sterrato, the supercar made for off-roading. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe down below to help me achieve my dream of becoming a successful YouTuber. I make all types of content on this channel, from everything from car reviews to vlogs to my personal opinions to redesigning cars to short videos and even informative videos. So basically every single thing a car guy would want in a YouTube channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified every single time I make a new video. But the concept of the Huracan Sterrato was revealed in 2019, and then like a few months ago, I think it was like 6 or almost a year ago actually, maybe, I don't even remember really, to be honest, there was a possible leak from the factory at Lamborghini with production bodywork, and it's not confirmed that it was an actual leak with the actual production bodywork, but it looks to be pretty much like that. Before I discuss anything more about the Huracan Sterrato, I just want to take you through a little history lesson of the Huracan platform in general. The Huracan debuted in December of 2013 as the successor to the well-loved Gallardo, which was Lamborghini's best-selling model at the time because it wasn't a big V12 super expensive supercar. It didn't use a V12, but it did use an engine with 2 less cylinders, a V10, and good gosh, it sounded amazing. The best sounding V10 in the world, in my opinion. The Gallardo's lifespan lasted until around 2013 with a facelift model and many models that came before it, including a Performante Spider, a Superleggera of the first generation, and the facelifted 5.2 liter, and many more after that, including a topless speedster, which was pretty interesting to see. But in that 10-year lifespan of the Lamborghini Gallardo, it was the car that basically saved Lamborghini from going bankrupt. But how do you replace something that was extremely successful? Well, you have to make it good. Like, really, really good. And the Huracan isn't just a good car. It's a great car and one of the most tunable exotic cars ever made. Its chassis is shared with the 2nd generation Audi R8, and so is the engine, the gearbox, the drivetrain, but what I'm trying to say is that it is an amazing vehicle, and it also did very well in sales just like the car that came before it. Just imagine right now that we're in early 2014. Some people think that the Huracan isn't a real Lamborghini, and I don't see why, but the people who do say that is because they say it's a dual clutch and no manual gearbox, it's too refined, the design of the car isn't wild enough to be called a Lamborghini, and it didn't have enough connection and engagement while driving. But again, remember, this was supposed to be the, quote, baby bull of Lamborghini's lineup, a more approachable supercar than the more rough and harsh single-clutch V12 Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4 at the time, which is still my favorite car in the world. And if you want to go check out one of my most recent videos right here, please go check it out. I think you'll really enjoy that video. It took me so long to make, and it was a video that I've been waiting to film for like over 4 years. So link in the description down below for this video right here, where I rode in a Lamborghini Aventador finally after so many years of waiting. In typical Lamborghini fashion, there were many special edition models of the Huracan LP610-4, but now we're in 2015 when everything was amazing, and Lamborghini released another Huracan variant, but it didn't even have 600 horsepower? Meet the new Huracan rear-wheel drive, which was 72 pounds lighter than the all-wheel drive model and had 30 less horsepower, so 580 metric PS, as the name says. The styling and the design, in my opinion, is much better than the Huracan LP610-4, but tell me which one is your favorite and which design you prefer. And it was more, let's say, tail-happy than the all-wheel drive model, of course, but it didn't really compete that well with its main rival, the Ferrari 488, which had 80 more horsepower, and also that car is my equal dream car to the Aventador. 2 years later, we are now in 2017, and we now have the Huracan Performante, which was a track-focused Huracan which added more horsepower, less weight, hidden active aero with Lamborghini's ALA system, Aerodynamica Lamborghini Attiva. The Performante also received a newer body, newer exhaust, a much larger diffuser, and a ton of downforce, which resulted in a record at the world-famous Nürburgring. Now we fast forward 2 more years later in 2019, and the facelift of the Huracan was revealed to the world, called the Huracan Evo, which the name is pretty self-explanatory. It was essentially an evolution of the Huracan with a new interior, new exterior styling, the same horsepower as a Performante surprisingly, 4-wheel steering which made the car handle even better than it already did, over 50% more downforce than the Huracan LP610-4 which came before it, and it was overall just a better car, and most of the people that complained about the Huracan looking too tame, well, they didn't say the same about the Evo. A rear-wheel drive variant of the Evo was debuted in late 2019 as a cheaper Huracan Evo, but still had a new interior just like the Evo all-wheel drive and new styling that was actually toned down compared to the all-wheel drive Evo, and it was a more fun car if you really like to get the tail sideways. Coming close to the end of 2020, the Huracan STO was revealed as the most hardcore road-legal variant of the Huracan, and was essentially a super trofeo race car for the road, literally like its name means. And then we fast forward to present day, well technically a few months ago, but we have the first photos of the new Huracan Technica, which was revealed as a Huracan model that sits below the STO but above the Evo in terms of track performance. And now we have the last Huracan model ever. Maybe. And we don't really have a clue when the Sterrato will be revealed, but Lamborghini has teased it already, which confirms that the off-roading supercar is becoming a reality. And speaking of which, some aesthetic features on the Sterrato, which is what I'm actually going to be discussing right now. So one of the test mules of the Huracan Sterrato had a roof scoop and a light bar, and the roof scoop will most likely go into production since it was seen on the test mules, and same thing with the light bar, but in my opinion, I would probably just guess that the light bar would be like, a optional extra and not like, you know, stock in like, well, not really stock, but like not just there as standard.
I hope that makes sense.
And something that could also be an optional extra are those roof racks that you have seen in the teasers and the test mules. So as you know, like most SUVs nowadays have roof racks, even though like most people don't even use them. I'm pretty sure the same thing will go for the Huracan Sterrato with those roof rails and roof racks, but it looks like you have 2 separate ones that are like sort of, they look like train tracks, honestly. Like I'm pretty sure the racks will actually be an optional extra, and the roof rails that go like on both sides, I'm pretty sure those will just be as standard, and then the roof racks that go like horizontally across the car, I'm pretty sure those will be an optional extra. The rims won't be very big on this car because it's just not good for off-roading use, and because of that, 20-inch rims at maximum will be rotating on the car's axles, and maybe 19 or 18-inch rims will come as standard. Wrapped around those wheels that are small will be off-roading tires, or at least tires that are more rugged and not like street or track tires. A wide body kit from the factory will be equipped on this car, and it looks to be like plastics instead of metal body panels, because if you're actually going to use the car for what it's actually intended to be used for, then there's going to be a lot of dirt and grime and mud on it, and plastic is a lot easier to replace than metal or carbon fiber, and a lot less expensive too, so
yeah.
And if you're actually going to take this car off-road, which is the whole point of this car being made, you're going to get it scratched eventually. Like, there's no doubting that. The front appears to have a similar bumper design to what's found on the new Huracan Technica, and I'm just talking about the bumper and not the actual, like, Y-shapes that are, like, right under the headlights. And it also sort of looks like a mix between the Huracan Performante from, like, 2017 when that car came out, which is honestly kind of weird. But all of this would be true if this supposed leaked photo was actually a leaked photo and not just, like, some rendering. But right now, and there have been actually a ton of mules going around, there have actually been 2 of them. In the snow, you can see that one of the bumpers has the bumper of a Huracan Evo all-wheel drive. And speaking of which, we do know that the rear bumper will look like a Huracan Evo. As little as 1.85 inches of raised suspension will be on this car, and I said as little as 1.85 inches, so maybe there will be like a button where you can push and it will just raise the car an extra few inches, so maybe like 3 to 4 inches higher off the ground compared to a normal Evo. More ground clearance is always better for something that is made for off-roading, so 1.85 inches honestly doesn't seem like a lot. That's like this much if you think about it. I'm assuming this thing will also be an optional extra, which is a skid plate on the bottom of the front bumper, which it will have in production. And skid plates are found underneath the cars of actual off-roading vehicles such as the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, the Ford Bronco Raptor, the Ford F-150 Raptor, the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, the Ram TRX, Chevy Silverado ZR2, shall I go on? Since this vehicle is based on the Huracan Evo facelift, it should have the exact same interior as the Huracan Evo, but I would assume that a roll cage would be like an optional extra for extra stability, but it would add a few extra pounds, and by a few extra pounds, I mean like a few hundred extra pounds, like 100, 200 extra pounds, but it would mean a lot when you were like, you know, having a lot of body roll in the corners, because like since this car has a lot of like extra suspension travel, and since it's a rally bred car, you know, it's gonna roll, so you need a roll cage to keep that car stable. And this whole time, the particular Evo that I am talking about is the Evo all-wheel drive. So it is not the Evo rear-wheel drive because, well, off-roadness, like, you know, all-wheel drive means extra traction, all 4 wheels spinning at the exact same time. It just makes sense for dirt use. Of course, the 5.2-liter naturally aspirated V10 is staying, and this just could be the last very iteration of it. Because, well, the successor to the Huracan, I'm not going to get into detail in today's video, so that will be a future video, so make sure you subscribe down below and turn on post notifications for that video. My estimate for the Sterrato is no more than 640 horsepower, just as the Evo all-wheel drive, but I'm sure there will be plenty of people that will twin turbo these. So will the Huracan Sterrato be a good off-roader? Well, yes, but maybe not great off-roading. Will this car be stupid? But the real question is it stupid? And the answer to that question is yes. But is it so dumb to the point where it is extremely cool? Heck yes. There is truly nothing else like this on sale right now, and as I said, only Lamborghini is the only company in this car industry that can actually do something like this and pull it off the correct way. And this just might very well be the last ever Huracan iteration with that 5.2-liter naturally aspirated V10, so the V10 Lamborghini Baby Bull might just be dead after this. But there's a caveat, because if Lamborghini doesn't milk the Huracan next year also with another variant, I actually shouldn't give them any ideas. But if you haven't already, just subscribe down below, because I have all types of content on this channel, including car reviews, vlogs, and my personal opinions to redesigning cars, to short videos, and even informative videos. So basically every single thing a car guy would want in a YouTube channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified every single time I make a new video. I do hope to see you in a future video, and bye for now. Oh my god.